Iran has unleashed one of its biggest waves of retaliatory strikes against U.S. military assets and infrastructure across the Middle East. This time, Jordan, a key American ally and Israel's neighbor, found itself caught in the crossfire. In the early hours of July 18th, a barrage of Iranian ballistic missiles lit up the skies over Amman. Dramatic online footage showed missiles streaking across the Jordanian capital before a massive explosion illuminated the night sky. However, Jordanian authorities have not officially confirmed any new impact, casualties, or damage from the latest attack. But the strike on Jordan carries enormous strategic significance. The country hosts Muwafaq Salti Air Base, a major hub for U.S. military operations and home to American F-35 fighter jets. Iran claims it has repeatedly targeted the base throughout the week. Yet, despite footage appearing to show Iranian missiles slipping through air defenses, Jordan insists it intercepted every missile launched toward its territory. On July 17th, Iran made an even more explosive claim. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, said its missile and drone strikes in Jordan destroyed several American fighter jets and aerial refueling aircraft, while inflicting serious damage on many more. The IRGC also urged Jordanians to target what it called the interests of the aggressive and anti-Islamic Americans inside the country. According to the IRGC, the assault occurred in 2 waves as part of the 14th phase of Operation Nasser II. Tehran said the attacks were retaliation for a 6th consecutive night of U.S. strikes. But Jordan tells a very different story. Hours before Iran's announcement, the Jordanian military said it had intercepted and destroyed 3 Iranian missiles over its territory, adding that the projectiles caused no casualties and no material damage. Then came another bombshell. CBS News, citing multiple American officials, reported that several U.S. soldiers were injured in Iranian attacks on bases in Jordan earlier this week. The report did not specify the number of wounded troops or the severity of their injuries. Meanwhile, according to the latest available figures, 14 U.S. service members have been killed since the Iran war began on February 28th, while 414 American personnel have been wounded, including a newly added U.S. Air Force service member.
Iran has released what it says are satellite images showing damage to accommodation buildings allegedly used by American troops at Jordan's King Faisal Air Base. The images, published by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, compare what it describes as before and after views of 3 locations inside the airbase, which Tehran claims were hit during its recent missile strikes. The claims have not been independently verified. Earlier on Friday, Jordan said it intercepted 3 incoming Iranian missiles, while reports earlier this week said Iranian missiles had struck the King Faisal Air Base on Tuesday. The U.S. military, on the other hand, said early Friday that it had ended its latest round of airstrikes targeting Iran, the 6th night in a row of strikes on the Islamic Republic, as fighting over the Strait of Hormuz intensifies. The U.S. airstrikes targeted bridges overnight in Iran's southern Hormozgan province, killing at least 7 people, Iranian state television reported. Additionally, Tehran launched new missile and drone attacks against U.S. allied nations, including Qatar, a key mediator in the peace negotiations. The interim ceasefire agreed to last month has collapsed, and the region has endured days of back-and-forth attacks by the U.S. and Iran as they battle for control of the strait.
When the United States and Israel launched the war on Iran on Feb 28th, Tehran effectively closed the strait to shipping traffic, a move that sent the price of oil soaring and gave Iran major leverage in negotiations. On Wednesday, the U.S. military reimposed a blockade on Iranian ports over Tehran's attacks on ships trying to pass through the oil choke point.
The U.S. Navy has restarted a blockade of Iranian ports. Now, this blockade is aimed at stopping Iran from getting its crude oil to the international market. And that's important because crude oil is a main driver of Iran's economy. Now, this comes as Iran has been attacking ships going through the Strait of Hormuz on a route that is hugging the coastline of Oman. Tehran has insisted that any ship going through the strait must do so on a route through Iranian waters and must follow the instructions of Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard. Now, the U.S. had been trying to support those vessels, and the UN's International Maritime Organization had supported this route around Oman, but the ships that have been attacked by Iran in recent days all have been plying that route. All of this comes as the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow mouth of the Persian Gulf through which about a fifth of all crude oil and natural gas traded once passed in peacetime, has become the key issue over trying to end the Iran war. And as these attacks on ships have continued, and as U.S. airstrikes have gone on against Iran for days, and Iran has retaliated against Middle East allies of America, this has really called into question whether or not there will be any sort of permanent end to the Iran war. Already we've heard from the U.S. that any negotiations with Iran over its nuclear program or other issues would have to be on hold until the strait was fully open, and Iran is insisting that it must maintain control of the strait and be able to potentially charge fees on ships going through the waterway. That's been rejected by Gulf Arab allies, the United States, and other countries around the world, showing just how intractable this conflict is and showing that as these attacks continue, the likelihood of a full-on war breaking out yet again in the Middle East is rising.
Earlier, the Iranian military said its drones and missiles struck American barracks and logistics in Kuwait. A dramatic new claim has emerged in the aftermath of Iran's alleged attacks across the Gulf. According to Iranian state media, waves of Arash drones were launched toward Kuwait, targeting what Tehran described as American barracks and a key U.S. military logistics center. If true, the choice of targets is highly significant. Military barracks are where American personnel live, rest, and prepare for operations. A successful strike on such facilities would be aimed not only at infrastructure, but at the people who sustain America's military presence in the region. A logistics center is equally critical. It serves as the backbone of military operations, moving fuel, ammunition, spare parts, equipment, and supplies to forces deployed across the Gulf. Disrupting that network could slow deployments, complicate resupply missions, and reduce the operational readiness of U.S. forces. Rather than striking symbolic targets, the alleged attack appears designed to threaten the very foundations that enable America's military to project power across the Middle East. Iranian officials portrayed the operation as part of a broader, coordinated campaign against U.S. military assets throughout the Gulf, presenting the strikes as evidence of the growing range, precision, and operational reach of Iran's long-range drone fleet. And the claims did not end with Kuwait. Iran's Press TV reported that the same Arash drones were also used in attacks on American aircraft and helicopter facilities at Bahrain's Sakir Air Base. According to the report, the objective was to strike aviation infrastructure essential for air operations, surveillance missions, troop transport, and rapid military response across the region. Taken together, the reported targets reveal a clear pattern. Barracks, logistics hubs, and air bases are not isolated facilities. They form the interconnected network that enables the United States to sustain military operations throughout the Gulf. Targeting all three would represent an effort to weaken that network from multiple directions at once. If the Iranian claims are accurate, they would point to a carefully coordinated campaign stretching from Kuwait to Bahrain, demonstrating an ability to threaten multiple U.S. military installations across the region in near-simultaneous operations. However, these claims originate from Iranian state-affiliated media and have not been independently verified. U.S. officials have not confirmed the reported strikes or acknowledged any resulting damage. Even so, the claims themselves underscore how rapidly the confrontation between Washington and Tehran has evolved. Increasingly, the contest is no longer defined by isolated missile launches or proxy attacks. It is becoming a broader struggle over the military infrastructure that underpins America's presence across the Gulf. Earlier, U.S. President Donald Trump insisted Iran would be defeated soon.
The country is booming, and we'll have Iran defeated soon. They'll be defeated very soon. And then I guess it'll be even better. But you know, even during this, it's been amazing. I mean, to think. So I call it a military operation, but call it whatever you want. It's incredible. It's like it hasn't made a dent. A lot of people thought oil would go up to $350 a barrel, and today it's at $79. A couple of days ago, it was at $68. It went up a little bit because I had to take tough action because they did not obey what they're supposed to obey. I mean, they just didn't do it. So we took a little action, but it'll all, when that settles down, I think you're going to have $55 oil, which is all great for what you're doing, maybe less than that.